Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Faith. I'm a registered nurse, and on this channel I talk more about nursing and general leveling up. I also do lifestyle vlogs. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about my IELTS journey. As you guys already know, I did my IELTS and I met the required bands that I require for my visa processing for the US. So I'm so excited about that. So if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button and also hit the like button if you like this video, and don't forget to put the notification bell on so that whenever I post any video you don't miss out. So let's get right into it. So guys, we'll start right away. What I want to tell you guys is IELTS is not easy, but IELTS is manageable, especially if you are a native English speaker. IELTS is manageable. I did my IELTS close to a month ago. It's been several weeks since I received my results, but what I can tell you for sure is IELTS is manageable, because the reason why I say that is I studied for the IELTS under, I will not say difficult circumstances, but I'll say I had so many things going on while I was studying for the IELTS. I was studying on and off, and one day I just decided to book the exam because I was getting tired of looking at IELTS material and everything. And I also had a lot of things going on. I could study for consecutively for 3 days, and then for the next 3 days I'm not studying because of work commitments and everything. So what I'll tell you guys is IELTS is manageable, because I didn't really sit down and really study the way I was studying for the NCLEX. So guys, I got my results several weeks, like two weeks, no, 1 week ago. Here is my IELTS results. Yeah, I got an overall band of 7, if you can see that. And the US requires a minimum of 6.5 general, and speaking of 7 and above. So I met that requirement, and I seriously thank God for that, because after I did my exam I was so sure that I will not meet these requirements, but thank God I did. So I just want to tell you guys what I've learned from my IELTS journey. It wasn't the longest journey, but at least I've learned something. And remember guys, I did IELTS on my own. I didn't have any training apart from a little support from my agency, which I really appreciate. They gave me insight of what IELTS look like, what you should expect. Yeah. So I didn't pay anyone for any support for the IELTS. But I got a lot of information from YouTube. I got a lot of information from, yeah, mostly YouTube, and I did a lot of practice tests from IELTS online. I'll be putting some screens on this video so that you see what I was using. But guys, what I want to tell you is, first, at least make a study plan or a study schedule at least a month before the exam day. Some people think that IELTS is English. Anyway, it's English, of course, but some people think that the fact that they are native speakers, they just can walk in and do the exam and get out and get the results. Yes, I've seen people do that and they get the required band, but I wouldn't encourage that. Please look up for study materials, look for, just research what the IELTs is. Yes, you might know it's an English exam, but you don't know exactly how they set the questions, what they expect from you. So I'll encourage someone who wants to take the IELTS exam, please just make a study plan for at least a month before the exam. At least that's what I did, because these other months I was just looking up and just getting familiar with what IELTS is. But the last 1 month is what I can say that I tried to at least put several hours a day to just do some practice questions and look up on different study materials on the IELTS. Another thing that I want to tell you is know your learning style. Whether you're a visual learner, whether you are an auditory learner, whether you just like reading, know your learning style, understand yourself, because that will really help you. If you're a visual learner, you can do YouTube. There's a ton of study materials and a ton of videos on IELTS for free on YouTube, which will definitely help you. If you are an auditory person, you can listen on the go. Do podcasts. There are a lot of podcasts out there on IELTS. There's a lot of audios that are recorded on IELTS. So do that. If you can kind of like reading, order some ebooks, download ebooks on IELTS, and also you can also get hard copies on IELTS and read. Then another thing that I will encourage you guys is to focus on your weakest point. As for me, my weakest point was reading. Guys, I'll tell you, if you don't know how to read fast, reading time flies like, yeah, they give you that passage, you go through it, and before you know it, they're saying it's 30 minutes and you have 2 passages to read through and get answers from those passages. So that was my weakest point. So if you know your weakest point, it will be easier. Focus on that. Yes, practice these other parts, but really focus on your weakest point, because that's what will really bring your band down if you don't really focus on it. So my weakest point was reading, and I think I really focused on that and I ended up getting a lower band on was it listening? I got a lower band on writing, and I think that's just spelling mistakes, because I'm weird. I'm not really weird. I'm very poor with spellings sometimes, especially if I'm nervous. So, and also punctuation. So focus on your weakest point. That will really help you. And then another thing that I did for myself is go out there and look at questions. Look at the layout of your questions, what you'll expect walking to the exam room. Look up in listening, look up writing, look up the format of the questions. You should be familiar with that. That will really help you, and you will also know when you are doing your tests, these practice tests. They will show you how the layout of the exam is, and just go to YouTube. There are people explaining how you handle such questions like maps. You'll get someone explaining how to handle a map question. Yeah. So know how the questions are set, know the topics that the IELTS like to touch on. Yeah. And then What you can also do is to study with someone. Find a study partner. I personally didn't have a study partner, but I've seen people doing that. They hold each other accountable. They study together. They can bounce off ideas. Yeah, someone might ask you to talk about something, and you talk, and that's how you polish your speaking skills. Yeah, so if you know someone who is also doing the same thing and you can support each other, that's a good idea. Another thing that I will not stop emphasizing is practice. Practice, practice, practice. At least that's what helped me. I used this platform called the IELTs Online. You'll see it pop up on the screen. I used that. It has a ton of questions that you can practice. So go there and practice. Also, these YouTubers, the OGs of IELTS, they have their own sites that they have the questions. Some of them are free. You can go there and do it. Also, there's also British Council, the IDP, they have their sites, they have questions there. Go practice. Practice will help you with your momentum when you go to the exam. You know you know how you time yourself. You know what you can do in 30 minutes. Yeah, so practice is very important. And then, guys, after you've done all these things, when you're registering for your exam, please follow the directions very carefully. Yeah, because it is so sad that when I went for my exam, I had a lady there who was coming to sit for her IELTS. She's self-sponsored. She didn't know much about the IELTS, so she booked the IELTS. There's IELTS academic, which you can do, and IELTS general. So she booked the IELTS general, and she was supposed to do the IELTS academic. So it was sad. She had wasted her 30,000 Kenyan shillings booking the exam, the wrong exam. She just did it, and again she will be forced to book another academic, IELTS academic, which is just sad. So know what you are looking at when you are booking your exam. Fill in the right names, because you need to identify yourself, and they also look at the information that you submitted when you are booking for the exam. So be careful so that you don't lose your money. And then another thing that I will advise you guys is, before the exam, you've booked the exam, go look up where the exam center is. As for me, I went a week earlier. I went to my exam center and I knew exactly where it was before I went for the exam. Yeah. So know where your exam is. And you should also know that there are some exam centers that offer IELTS. They can offer both the paper-based and computer-based. My test center had only paper-based. I said previously on my previous videos that I will do the computer-based IELTS, but then I opted for the IELTS, the paper-based, because the exam center that is near me only offers paper-based. So I went there and did the paper-based. So know exactly where your exam center is, so that when the day comes, you don't arrive late at the exam center because you got lost, or maybe you are held up in traffic. When you know where you are going to sit for the exam, you can know how the traffic is and all that. And if you are driving, you can know how many hours or minutes you'll take to get to the exam center. So go early and just check it out, check the layout. Yeah. And then another thing, that I will encourage you. This is a by the way. When it's not really a by the way, because it will definitely affect you. When you go for your exam, wear some loose fitting clothes, especially if it's very hot, or layered clothes if it's very cold. This is just for your comfort, so that when you are in the exam room, you just don't sit down thinking about how cold it is, how hot it is. So consider that when you are planning to do your exam. So again, something that I will emphasize is when you go to your exam for the exam date, and this will also be told by the British Council on their site as you are applying, when they send you their email confirming that, please carry your current form of ID. For my case, it was my passport. That's what most people use here in Kenya. So please carry your current form of ID, so that they will able to use it to identify you. And remember that form of ID that you give, which I encourage people to use their passport, is the same ID that you will submit while you are registering for the exam. So don't carry something different and you registered with something different. Yeah. I'm running out of breath. Another thing that I want to tell you guys is arrive early at the exam center. It will reduce your nerves. You'll blend into the environment, and you will feel a little bit better when you arrive earlier. If you arrive late, my friend, you'll be panicking. You'll enter the exam room while panicking, which is not good for you. So during the exam, guys, it's usually tense because you are timed and you're supposed to deliver within those few minutes that you are given. For speaking, just relax and take a deep breath and talk. Talk like you are talking to your friend. When they ask you a question, just talk. Talk, 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 don't stop. Because they want to know how good your English is. So don't stop talking. Just talk, talk, talk until they interrupt you with another question, then talk. Again, talk. So what I'll tell you with speaking is talk. Talk like you're talking, you're having a conversation with your friend. If you don't know something about what they are asking you, make up a story, because that's what they just want to know. Sorry guys, my camera went off. So I was saying, for speaking, just talk. Don't stop talking unless they interrupt you. And make up things if you don't really know what you're supposed to be saying. If you don't understand, or if you don't know anything about, let's say, sports, make up some. Another thing that I want to tell you guys is during the exam, don't panic. Just breathe in, breathe out, and pace yourself. And even when you see that you feel like the exam is going poorly, you're not getting things, just compose yourself and just continue. Because when you start panicking is when you lose answers, especially when listening. If you just start panicking about the answer that you missed, is when you start panicking. So pace yourself, compose yourself during the exam, breathing, and continue just listening or writing or whatever you are doing. It will be okay. Another thing that I'll want to tell you guys, if you feel like you've missed something or you don't know the answer, please guess and make a smart guess. If like it's a fill in blank question, just look for a word that can fit there in the same context with what you are supposed to be writing in there, because you'll not lose marks for writing a wrong answer. But you'll seriously reduce your band score if you don't write something and if you leave the blank space blank, because now they'll mark it. Another thing that I want to say is don't change your answers, please, unless you are so sure it is the right answer. Don't change answers, because I'm sure that's how some of the questions I got wrong. Yeah, because I was writing something and now change the spelling of the word to another spelling which was wrong. So don't change answers. Another thing is check your work. Those 10 minutes that you are given, those 2 minutes that you are given to check your work at the end of the exam, please do, so that you make sure you have not made some useless and careless mistakes. So guys, that is it for the IELTs. Guys, I did my IELTs. I'm so thankful that I finished and I got the required band. For those who are preparing to do your IELTs, I wish you luck. And if you feel like you can't do it on your own, please, it will be wise if you invest in it. Look for someone who can train you, who can coach you. It's okay. Please do that, because you don't want to lose extra money booking the exam again when you could have paid some few coins to someone to help you through it. If you need help, please look for it. There are a lot of people offering IELTs training out there. Please do. And that is it, guys, for the IELTs. And thank you so much for watching this video to this end. Please share my videos. I'll really appreciate. If you've liked this video, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button so that you can help me with the YouTube algorithm. And thank you guys so much for your support, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.